All right, who's ready to geek out? Let's do it. It's Weather for Weather Geeks midweek edition here on Wednesday, the 6th day of November. Turned into a decent day today. We got into the upper 40s, but boy, it was a cold and frosty start this morning. These were the daybreak temperatures across the region. We had a 27 in the Sharon area, 28 Boardman and Columbiana, Salineville as well. Mercer and Sandy Lake also in the upper 20s to about 30 as the day got underway. At the airport this morning, it was our coldest temperature of the season so far. We dropped down to 27. 29 in Akron, 26 in New Philly, and 30 was the low this morning in Pittsburgh. But again, things recovered pretty nicely today. Some weak early November sunshine helped us out. We got into the middle and upper 40s, still about 4 or 5 degrees cooler than average, but not bad. Not much in the way of a breeze out there today, and this will be one of the better days of the next week or even 10 days or so. All right, moisture starting to gather off to our south. This snow up here is a miss for us tonight, so we're kind of in between the colder air to the north and the more moisture-laden air to the south, and eventually the moisture is going to win out. It won't be as cold tonight. No one's dropping into the 20s tonight. In fact, we'll stay in the upper 30s overnight. All right, if you're a morning commuter on Thursday, expect a little bit of rain. I mean a little bit out there Thursday morning. This is not going to be much, but a couple of showers around as the day gets underway. The bigger story, of course, as we go through Thursday is going to be the transition over to some wet snowflakes. Still expecting this to occur early in the afternoon, kind of a north to south transition, maybe as early as noon in parts of Trumbull and Mercer, and then between 1 and 3 o'clock on average as you get down into Mahoning and Columbiana counties. This is not going to be real heavy snow, but there will be some wet snowflakes flying for a couple of hours tomorrow afternoon. It's just a couple of hours. I think this is done by 5 o'clock at the latest. And so by the time a lot of us are leaving the office, maybe at 5 o'clock, if you work a 9 to 5 kind of a job, you'll have missed out on a couple of hours worth of wet snowflakes, and maybe there's a flurry around, and it's going to be colder, but no big deal as we get into the evening hours for tomorrow. Our model trends have been for less snow. Let's look at this graphic and show you that, an inch or less is really going to do it. Now, yesterday when I showed you this graphic, a couple of our models were trying to spin up 1.5 inches to 2 inches. I thought that was too high, and well, that thought is verified by the latest run of our modeling. Inch or less should do it just about everywhere. Now, there will be a couple of exceptions, and the reason why, I think there will be some lake effect tomorrow night into Friday morning, and so everyone can see a general 1/2 inch to 1 inch of slushy snow on the grass tomorrow afternoon. But tomorrow night and early Friday morning, there will be some bands coming in off of Lake Erie that will give some additional accumulations to the usual places. So Geauga County, parts of Portage County, and far northern Trumbull, northern and eastern Mercer, you might get a bonus inch or 1.5 inches worth of lake effect tomorrow night and early on Friday. Not much more than flurries with that lake effect for most of us in Mahoning and Columbiana counties for tomorrow night. So, all things considered, this is not a big deal. But tomorrow night, when temperatures drop down into the 20s, and there'll be some flurries around, wet and slushy areas, a little coating of snow on top of those freezing slush areas, that might make for a few slick spots tomorrow night. But for the rush hour Thursday evening, no big deal. Things are just going to be wet, not expecting any problems other than some local reductions in visibility. All right, the flurries linger into at least the first half of the day Friday. Might even see a renegade snowflake trying to linger into Friday afternoon. Saturday is a benign day with a mix of sun and clouds. There'll be a veil of high clouds around, making for kind of a milky sky on Saturday. But this is the better half of the weekend, and I say that because we have another system to track as we go into next week. Now, Sunday, I think, is going to be the warmer half of the weekend, but it probably will be the cloudier half of the weekend, especially as we get into the afternoon. Now the models are trying to clue onto a wave of low pressure riding along a cold front on Veterans Day. A lot of us have Monday off, and if you do, maybe a day to watch some wet snow falling. There's going to be a cold front approaching Sunday night into Monday morning, and with a wave of low pressure along that front, it's going to slow it down, pull in a little more moisture, and there's some decent model agreement that it's going to snow for a time on Monday, on Veterans Day. Do I think this is a big storm? No. Is it enough to shovel? Maybe. Not going to be surprised if we get maybe a couple of inches out of this coming up on Monday. So that's something we'll be keeping a close eye on during the coming days. We've got some serious cold coming our way behind that Monday system. Next week's low temperatures may flirt with records for a couple of nights. This is next Wednesday, a week from today, first thing in the morning. we'll be down in the teens. Some of these numbers might be a little bit too cold, such as the 10 in Columbus. But I think widespread teens are very likely middle of the week, and that would flirt with some record lows. Record low high temperatures will also be challenged middle of next week. Our record low highs are in the upper 20s, right around the 12th, 13th, 14th of the month, and that's the neighborhood we're going to be in middle of next week. All right, tomorrow evening, it is time for the annual winter forecast on 21 News at 6 to 11. We'll give the 3-minute version and then the extended version. WFMJ.com, the Storm Tracker 21 app. EricWFMJ.com is my weather blog. And not only can you watch the video version on that on my site, also on my site I'm going to host a blog written version if you're more of a reader. So we've got you covered. No matter what version or format you want to check out the winter forecast in, we're going to have it all tomorrow evening. Look for that online version to be posted probably between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And if you're new to my winter forecasts, the online extended geeky version tends to be quite long. Sometimes these run 10 or more minutes. So if that's not your cup of tea, and if you're watching this video, chances are you don't mind a longer weather video, but if a 10-minute plus weather video is not your cup of tea, check out the shorter versions, check out the blog post, and if you really want all the details and don't mind sitting through a long extended video of me babbling about the winter weather, then check out that long version, again, online between 7:30 and 8 Thursday evening. That'll do it for me this evening. An update on tomorrow's weather coming up tonight on 21 News at 11. Hope to see you then.